What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. And I didn't get a chance to get with y'all last night, so I'll take this opportunity to holler at y'all today while I got a little window of time to get it. I see you, Mitchie 450. I see you, Mitchie 450 in the building, man. Yeah, I got a little time to get one in with y'all, so I'm gonna make sure that I do that today. So we won't call this ain't Friday night live. This will be Saturday live because it's daytime at the time that we are recording this, or going live rather. So, let's get it in. I want to humbly ask everybody to hit the like button as you come into the room. Wipe your feet on the floor and hit that like button for your big bro. And we will get it going, man, once we get a few folks in the house. Once we get the folks in the house and get the room settled in, then we can proceed with today's topic. I see a few of y'all are already chiming in. I want to go into a little more detail. I am the bartender says I got the notification. That's what's up, man. I love to see y'all, my family. I see my brother Phantom Face and Xavier and Troy Scott Bailey. I see everybody in here so far. I'm glad that, those who get the notifications on a consistent basis, I'm glad that y'all are getting them because, I do hear from time to time that people who are subscribed and who do have their notifications on, they don't get the notifications for whatever reason. I don't know if that's just a glitch in the YouTube matrix or if it's a conspiracy. I ain't gonna start with that, but either way, whenever y'all can make it in, I'm glad that y'all can make it in. But I wanted to cover this topic, man, and I guess we're gonna get going. I wanted to cover this topic because it explains or it can explain a lot of the reason why many people are in the financial situation that they are in. The topic says rich people steal too. So now y'all know where we're going. Rich people steal too. And just understanding the truth in that can give us an idea of why, like I said, the majority of people are struggling financially or barely making it financially or paycheck to paycheck or just trying to get by, right? And we look at ourselves sometimes and we say, well, man, I'm working hard. I'm doing everything I should do, man. Some people got 2 and 3 jobs and they barely hanging on. And you would think in a so-called civilized society, you would think that in a society like we live in that promises the pursuit of happiness and promises to be and builds itself to be the land of opportunity, you would think that type of work and those type of working people would be rewarded, that it would be a benefit to somebody who is working a pretty decent job, making what would be perceived as a decent salary, or somebody that's out there working 2 jobs, possibly 3, or 2.5 to 3 jobs. You would look at them and say, well, man, they shouldn't have to struggle like that. But I was reading this report that came out in like 2020, and it was talking about how the rich, how the wealthy, the 1%, as they described it, the 1% was stealing from the bottom 90-something%, right? And the report said that $2.5 trillion per year was being snatched, stolen from the bottom 90% of the citizens in America and or in the world. I don't know if it's America or the world, but whatever it was, they were snatching 2.5 trillion per year. And it was being redirected up to the 1% wealthy. So the rich is getting richer, as they say, but there's a heist going on. There's a thievery going on that has allowed this to happen. So you ask the question, man, why? If y'all already got the money, if they already are wealthy beyond thought. The last live stream I did, y'all remember, some of y'all was in here. We was talking about whatever we was talking about, and the subject and the name of a lot of the rich billionaires came up. We were talking about black billionaires in comparison to white billionaires and billionaires around the world. And I asked y'all to list the net worths of Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and a couple of other ones, right? And when y'all posted that for your big brother, you saw some that were like over $100 billion in net worth and all that. And you think it's like, man, you know, you can look at somebody's company and say, man, that company popped off. Yeah, Microsoft popped off. It's like, but it's still a part of you that misses, man, they made that much? And maybe they did. But you also start human nature makes you go, man, it got to have been something shifty and shady behind the scenes for them to get that much, right? So bringing it back to where we are today, in that report that I read, because I was like, well, how are they stealing it? And it was explained just on a minimal level that part of it is done through tax cuts or tax breaks. Like there are a lot of policies and tax policies in place that benefit the rich. You know, they make sure that the rich get breaks and all these different things. And they also come in the form, it comes in the form of wage cuts for the working class people. So the working class people, the people who out there getting it every day, getting up in the morning, going to these jobs, like say 1, 2, sometimes 3 jobs, they're not earning as much as they should be earning for the work they do, and they're not earning as much as they once were earning. If you take this thing back some decades, you know, they're slowly cutting down on the money. You know, that money lands somewhere. You know, they're raising taxes, you know, and that money lands somewhere. That money falls in the hands of somebody. And unfortunately, the somebody that hands that money lands in are people who already got more money than they will ever be able to spend or what they know what to do with. So that's an example of of how the rich continue to steal, and people are working harder for less. The report also says that had none of this been going on the way that it's going on, the average person would probably be bringing in around $1,000 extra per week. You know, had things not been going the way they're going, you know, you would stand to possibly be bringing in like $1,000 extra a week if you're a working class person, you know. But that's not happening right now. So due to the fact that we're seeing this thievery going on and not many people even know about it, that wealth discrepancy is so extreme. It's like it's a gap. It's an incredible wealth gap that just, if you really look at it, it's mind-blowing. It's astronomical. And it puts the average citizen in a position to where And it's just funny that this was actually written in the report, because it's the exact same thing that one of my OGs told me probably 15 years ago. We were riding down the strip in my city, right? And along this strip, on both sides, there are big, expensive mansions, like big houses, just all up and down this strip, right? And as we were riding down, just looking at the nice houses and all that, I made a comment like, man, boy, these people living in some nice houses, man. Boy, these are some really nice houses. Must be really nice to live in these nice houses like that. Even though I lived in a nice house like that before. But what he said to me, he said, man, you would be surprised. He say, a lot of these people are probably 1 or 2 missed paychecks away from being homeless. That was his words to me. And I immediately caught on to what he was saying. I was like, yeah, you're probably right. Because when you think about what it would take, or what it takes to be able to maintain the ability to live in one of those houses. And let's say, because some people say, well, man, what if you own the house? Okay, let's say, for example, you own the house. The taxes that you annually have to pay on the property can be so astronomical that you are still under pressure, even if you have ownership over the house. The utilities in the house, where people say, well, man, my light bill $1,200 a month. It's like, wow. I got these cars. I got this lifestyle that becomes so expensive. So you look at it, and when we were little, we always, oh man, they rich. They live in that house. They are rich. And they might be doing well. They may be doctors and lawyers and whoever. But when he said that, he said, man, people might be 1 or 2 missed paychecks away from being homeless. I was like, man, that's deep. So fast forward, I'm reading the same report that I'm telling y'all about now. And it said in that report that most families, now we back talking about their bottom percentage. The everyday working class people, the everyday working people. The report said most of those families are one $400 emergency away, and I'm quoting, from catastrophe, meaning financial catastrophe. Now look at the amount that they said. He said $400. So it makes you think in your everyday life, if something came up tomorrow, if you got a phone call today or tomorrow, and it said, if somebody said, hey man, such and such done happen, man, it's gonna cost you $400. Your only vehicle is down, and the mechanic says it's gonna, hey, I can do it, but it's gonna cost $400. Your daughter got to go to the hospital. Oh man, we don't have no insurance. Whatever's going, hey, it's gonna cost $400. If $400 puts you in a position, if you can't just peel off $400 and can kind of keep moving, okay, yeah, I got to pay this $400, blah blah blah, then you're not living comfortably. And the reality is that represents a large portion of the American public. The majority of people don't have that kind of disposable income, don't have that kind of money sitting around. Bank accounts are not filled with thousands of dollars in every household. It's absolutely the opposite. Some people don't have any money put up anywhere. So for them to say one $400 emergency could lead to catastrophe, it speaks again to that wealth gap, that disparity that's clear and obvious. And not only is it clear and obvious, it's 100% intentional, doing it on purpose. So the rich steal too, because meanwhile, while all this is going on down in the basement, up in the penthouse, they living their best life, and they are welcoming that money that comes into them every year. They feel like, hey, it's supposed to come, right? So I'm gonna give a few examples from the top, from big examples all the way down to little stuff that the person should be smacked upside their head for. There was an actress some years back. I forgot her name. Maybe y'all can remember. And she got caught shoplifting out of a store. You know, she was stealing clothes and stealing stuff out of the store. And the people were like, well, wait a minute, she got money. Why is she stealing? Is this something mental going on? Does she have like a psychological issue that's making her just have to do this? It's a fetish, or she's she has a problem, a habitual condition? But I forgot her name. Winona. Appreciate that, YJ. Shout out to the homie YJ, the author, man. Much love for y'all having me on the platform last night, man. Salute to y'all brothers, man. You and boss. Winona. Was it Winona Ryder? I think that was her name. But she was stealing like it was going out of style, right? And everybody was like, why is she doing this? Why is she doing this? And then you think about something that I saw. I was watching this show called Rich and Shameless. Y'all got to check that out. It's called Rich and Shameless. And they did a whole feature on Brett Favre, which I was surprised that they did it, because a lot of times they'll try to cover up their own rich and try to keep their dirt under wraps. So when they did this whole feature program on Brett Favre, I was like, wow, they actually speaking on it. And for those that don't know, Brett Favre, the ex-quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, Hall of Fame quarterback, who has in his career, if you count NFL salary and endorsements, he has generated close to $200 million, well over $150 million in revenue throughout his career. He's a very, very rich and wealthy man, right? But recently he got caught up in a scandal because he was in cahoots with state officials in the state of Mississippi, where they were taking funds that were supposed to be used for welfare recipients. They were taking welfare money, and he took some of the welfare money. It was given to him in order to help build a volleyball stadium at his daughter's college. And he's going through all these motions to try to get this money that he could have came right out of pocket with. And he's going through all these underhanded motions to get this money from the government in Mississippi that's supposed to be for the poor people, the welfare recipients, and he took that money to try to get a stadium built because his daughter went to that school. So he and all those who were in affiliation with him and all those who allowed him or gave him the funds, they stealing. You stealing. Now, to all y'all who like, oh man, well, I mean, maybe he didn't know, or maybe I'm not. The text messages came out. And when the text messages came out, it showed the whole timeline of him having these conversations with the officials who were in charge of giving him this money. And one of the things that he said that stood out was when he said, can we do this? I'm paraphrasing. Can we do this without the media knowing about it? Now, one thing I know about rich folks with egos, 99.999% of the time, when they do something that is considered to be good or considered to be charitable, they don't have any problem with the media knowing about it. They want the exposure. They want the publicity. They want to be seen and get the glory for that. So for him to put in that text message, can we do this without the media knowing about it? That clearly indicates to me that he knew he was doing something shady. And he also said something along the lines like not wanting the media to know where they're not, he said, they're not going to be able to find out where this money came from, right? I'm paraphrasing again, but that's basically the gist of what he was asking the people who he was working with. So that alone lets you know that he knew he was getting some money from a place he shouldn't have been getting some money. All this going on while his net worth is sitting up over whatever it's sitting up over. I don't know. Somebody pull up Brett Favre's net worth for your big brother. Can y'all pull up Brett Favre's net worth real quick for me? Somebody. I'll do it too, just to see how, if we're looking at our own at the same sources or similar sources. What I see, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. Because sometimes it fluctuates. One will say one thing, one will say. I just looked. The first 4 said 100 million. The first 4 that I looked at said 100 million. So this man is worth $100 million. And he steals 1 million from the welfare fund in the state of Mississippi, which, by the way, Mississippi is the poorest state in America. Didn't know that. Out of all of, how many states we got now in America? Is it 48 and then Hawaii and Alaska? Or did they add some more? But let's just say it's still 50 states. I don't remember. Of all of the states in the freaking union, you steal from the poorest one. 50 plus U.S. territories. Appreciate that, Magneticus. Now, had you come out of pocket with this $1 million, your net worth would be 99 million. What's the difference between 99 million and 100 million? If me and Phantom Face Final are hanging out, just chilling, and some billionaire walks up to both of us and says, say, man, I'm a billionaire and I want to do something good in my life. And he tells Phantom Face, I'm going to give you and your family $100 million. Then he looks at me and says, and you, I'm going to give you 99 million. Do you think I'm going to be mad? Do you think I'm going to look and say, well, why'd you give him 100 million and just give me 99? What's the difference? $1 million technically, but as far as wealth and lifestyle and the transformation of your life and your family's life and generationally, it's no difference. So if you wanted your daughter to have a volleyball stadium at her university that bad, Brett Favre, why didn't you pay for it yourself? Go into your 100 million. You gonna steal from the poor? This is the nature of these cats, man. Now the two people who were involved, two of the principal characters that were involved in trying to get him that money, they got charged. They was immediately in the grease. The paper trails, and I mean, I guess all the trails led to them some kind of way, but magically Brett Favre hasn't been charged yet. Is that to say he won't? I don't know. Maybe they'll try to come after him later. Maybe he's on borrowed time, but if he is never ever charged, who in this room would be surprised? If he was to never get charged, who in this room would be surprised? I wouldn't. Rich people steal too. So when we go back to talking about Winona, and we talk about Brett Favre, you know what it is? It's entitlement. That's all it is. It's entitlement. It's a situation where they have been catered to all their life, all of their adult, whenever they hit fame and fortune. Rich people go in a restaurant, they never have to pay because the restaurant is just glad they're there, and it can bring clientele and customers just by, all I need Brett Favre to do is take a picture. Hang it in my restaurant. Now my restaurant has a level of credibility. These are the kind of people that come to my restaurant. Hey, Mr. Favre, your dinner is on the house. So they get used to that. Women throwing themselves at them. Companies wanting to endorse their products. It just, the head just, the head gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So you reach a point where you feel like you can do just anything that you want to do. Now you playing high stakes poker now. Now it's like, oh, I'm playing with the big boys because somebody had to give him the game. He may have mentioned at some point that, yeah, I want to, try to see how we can get this volleyball thing done. Somebody may say, well, dog, don't spend your own money. What you can do, you can contact such and such, and then they have this and programs and that, and they have ways to get you that money. You only have to spend. And now here we are. See? So they feel entitled. They feel privileged. I'm supposed to get this. Let me address a comment I just saw. Hold on. And I missed it. Where did it go? Where did it go? And I just saw this comment. I really want to address this. Somebody just said Brett Favre didn't steal some money. But I want to read the comment. Oh, there it is. TMG Trap Mob God says, Brett didn't steal from the poor. He manipulated a corporation. I couldn't disagree with you more. Again, I just mentioned the text messages. He asked in those text messages, is anybody going to be able to know where this money came from? Why are you worried about where the money came? Why are you worried about if people know where the money came from? If you're not intentionally stunting. Because he was intentionally stunting. Now, is there an aspect of manipulation of those people, the corporation, as you say? But they were actually, like I say, they were in charge of government funds. Yeah, because he used his celebrity to get in that pocket, to get in that position, literally get in the pocket. But he knew. So he is complicit. He's just as guilty or more. Because again, he could have paid it himself. So absolutely, he stole from the poor. Absolutely, he stole from the poor. Why are you asking? Why are you asking? Hey man, is anybody gonna know? That's the first sign of knowing that you're doing something, when you know somebody's doing something wrong. It's the first sign. Don't tell nobody. That's like when somebody gossip. If somebody come to you gossiping, and the first thing they say, hey, JD, man, look, I'm gonna tell you something. Don't tell nobody I said this, man. Why? If it ain't gossip, if you ain't getting ready to tell me something that's shady or slanderous towards somebody, why you all on the cool with it? See? Is that T10? T10 says a poor, abused, hungry person gets some excuse for stealing. A rich person has no excuse. And I was going there. I was going to get there because I just felt like somebody would say that, well, what about people who stealing every day? Poor. Look, there are a lot of people who don't have to steal, who steal. You know, there are people who they ain't missing no meals. They have a roof over their head and they steal. I've known a few thieves in my day. Some of them are my friends. I don't mean that we do the same things, but there are people who steal because they are hungry. Like, man, I have to eat. I gotta feed my family. I gotta get this bread. I gotta sneak this loaf of bread. It's just dire straits, desperation. And while stealing is wrong, but man, you can't make a comparison to somebody who's stealing for survival to somebody who's just stealing because they can do it. AO says he will not be charged. And like I said, AO, if he's not charged, it wouldn't surprise me. I would be surprised if he gets charged, right? If he gets charged, I would be surprised if he gets charged. But simply because the money that he has, that he should have used to do what he was trying to do anyway, to put him in a position to possibly get charged, that same money will possibly be what keeps him out of prison. So now you end up having to use some money anyway. Think about that. Because if they do decide to pursue that on him, he's gonna start spending money. He'll start spending his own money then, because he's gonna have to get him an attorney. He may already be spending money trying to clean it up. So you should have just went on and dropped $1 million out your own pocket. Politicians steal money all the time. Corporations steal money all the time. Y'all remember Bernie Madoff? Are y'all familiar with Bernie Madoff? Bernie Madoff, of course, you know, one of my favorite shows is American Greed. But Bernie Madoff was the business guy who was scamming all those, he was scamming rich people. He was playing for the big stakes. He's like, I can't make no money stealing from poor folks. I'm going to steal from people who got it. So he was scamming and stealing money with these fake investment hustles that he had going on. And this guy accumulated billions with a B. Billions. And billions. And billions. And he wouldn't stop. They finally caught him, sent him to prison because he got so many people he couldn't duck prison. Because he got celebrities and all kind of people. He couldn't duck prison. And he was still proud of what he did. Somebody misquoted the amount that he had stolen when they was talking to him. He said, no, 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 no. He corrected them and told them, no, no, I popped them for this amount. That's when you proud of your work. You proud of your thievery. Come on, man. This is the mentality, man. All right, let me go to the comments a little earlier and see what y'all got to say. See what y'all got to say. TMG says, knowing the law can help you. Not knowing the law can hurt you. Well, it depends on who you are. There are things about the law and as it relates to law enforcement and how they handle us, especially as Black people. There are things that people know about laws in certain in real estate. There are things that people know about when it comes to getting loans. All these different things, the ins and outs that people have studied and known, and it still didn't benefit them based on who they were. So the rules don't, the same writing, the same wording, the same rules don't apply to everybody. It's selective. So knowing the law can benefit you if you are protected under that law, if you are accepted under that law, if you are looked at as somebody that's like, okay, well, yeah, he's good. But it ain't clear cut and dry like that. I'm reading y'all's comments right now, man. Phantom Face says some people would get mad if they gave one person 100 million, they gave another person 99. He said because you got one more kernel of corn on your plate. Yeah, that's a sickness, man. That's a sickness. It's people like that. People have never. There are people who had to fight and scrape for everything they ever got in their life, and they just feel like everybody's trying to take. I know people like that. I personally know people like that just they feel like everybody's trying to take something from them or beat them out of something. Now you have no history. You have no record of being a person who does that and have never done it to them. But in the right situation, they turn in a minute and they look at you like you trying to beat them. I've had it happen to me. I'm telling you. People that I know and love, like, man, this cat just acting real different behind a few crumbs. So yeah, you're right. You're right. Self-preservation said couldn't bat an eye. 99 millions, that amount is fine. Look, the dude could walk up and give Phantom Face 100 million and give me 2 million. I wouldn't be mad. Like, hey, Phantom Face, he must really like you, man. That's what's up. I'm gonna take my little 2 million and get on before he changes his mind. People who are rich in wealth and money, but poor in character and morals. They're poor in character. So it don't matter how much money they got, a snake gonna be a snake. If you take a snake and you're somehow able to create a suit-looking garment that you can put on a snake. You can put this around this snake. It has a little tie on it, has a little suit-looking thing on the snake. That's not going to dignify and civilize the snake because you put a suit on him. Stick your hand close to the snake's mouth. He's going to bite you and inject venom into your bloodstream because he's a snake. His nature is what his nature is. So people will come into money, and we had this conversation a while back. Money gives you access. Money gives you power. Money puts you in position. Money makes people kiss your behind, which swells your head, inflates your ego, and it either turns you into a monster or it activates the monster that was already in you. It either turns you into a monster or it activates the monster that was already in you. See? And in some of these cases, the monster was already in some of these cats. Joe Callio mentioned the prisons. They have a lot of people in prison that are generating big money for corporations and all that. And people can say what they want to say about the prisoners, but none of that money even goes on their books. You know, they say, well, man, they shouldn't pay prisoners. Like, God, the slave labor that's being carried out in the prison industrial complex, shouldn't some of that? Well, they get room and board. Nah, don't try that one. Because at the end of the day, you want to give them room and board. You want to house your slaves. I'm seeing what y'all saying, man. If the crook you talking about is Brett Favre, Jimi Hendrix, nope, he's not in jail. Now, if you talk about Bernie Madoff, yeah, he went to prison. I think did Bernie Madoff kill himself? Look that up. I think Bernie Madoff took his own life. All right. Jovan says, I hate totalitarianism. Magnetica says, my state spends $10,000 a year for each child to be educated, $30,000 a year to re-educate adults. What state is that, Magneticus? Where you at? Yeah. Look at the record. Look at the music business, y'all. Let's transfer over into the music business. These are rich executives who run the music business. And when your music comes out and it's very successful and you sell a lot of albums, what are the splits historically, all the way to now? But we can go all the way back into time. What are the splits? The splits are always 90 something to 5 and under for the artists, 90 something percent to the labels, crumbs to the artists. That's a form of thievery. It ain't a form of it, it's thievery. Now I know somebody's gonna say, well, man, they're financing it, they're distributing it, they're manufacturing all this product, they're the ones putting you in the studio, paying it out. Still doesn't come out to the amount. When the proper amount is generated, when the right amount is generated, they far what they bring in far exceeds what their investment was, what their initial investment was. It far exceeds it. Now they will tell you that it lined up, a la TLC. They'll tell you that it lined up and say, well, no, we had to do this, we had to recoup that, we had to recoup this and that and that and that and that. But not if I sold 10 million records. I might be dumb, but I ain't stupid, because I'm gonna know, I'm gonna have a ballpark figure in my mind of what 10 million sold units generates in totality. Back in those days, when you talk about physical copies, talking about 10 million tapes or CDs. And let's just say they was $10 a piece. It costed more than that, but I'm not the best in math, y'all. What's 10 million times 10? Is that 100 million? Yeah, 10, 20, 30. 10 million times 10 is $100 million, right? 10 million times $10. We back at that 100 million, right? If this album generates $100 million, you can't lie to me and tell me that you spent $90 million to promote and market and produce and manufacture and distribute my project. You can't tell that lie to me. Not only did it not cost you 90 million, it didn't cost you 50 million. Not only did it not cost you 50 million, it didn't cost you 20 million. You didn't pay that much. But let me give you the 20. Let me say you did spend the 20. It's still 80 in the pot. So how do I end up, me and my group mates, how do we end up just getting, here's a $50,000 check for you, here's a $50,000 check for you, and here's a $50,000. How do we end up getting that? And it's 80 million floating around, or it's 50 million floating around, or 75 million, whatever the number was. They stole it. They stole it. Somebody or a group of somebodies benefited heavily. And they didn't all have to be white either, because there's a lot of our black executives and moguls, they learn and do the same thing. They say, ooh, instead of saying, well, you know what, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna play the game like they play it. I'm gonna make sure the people eat. I'm gonna make sure my artists eat. He's like, nah, we're gonna do the same thing that Clive Davis do. We're gonna do the same thing that Jimmy Iovine do. We're gonna do the same thing that Leo Cohen do. We're gonna steal. We're gonna steal. Because the rich want to stay rich. They want to stay rich. So yeah, you better off doing it yourself, and you will generate less revenue because you don't have the weight behind you to get out there like that, right? But in some cases, you may stand to do better than some of those who do have that weight behind them because they getting raped. Bro, what, and y'all know periodically streaming comes up in my live. When I'm doing this stream right here, it ain't generating hardly no, just generating crumbs off of crumbs. We talk about music streaming a lot. They stealing. Sony, Universal, Warner Brothers, Warner Music. These are all multi-billion-dollar music corporations that are involved in the streaming game, along with the streaming platforms themselves like Spotify and others, that generate billions of dollars off of the streams from all y'all favorite artists that y'all stream their music. And we know by now, as most of us should know, we know a ballpark figure of what the percentages is off of each stream, all the way up to now they have a lady who's petitioning to the government, fighting to try to get artists a raise, a streaming raise. What's the raise? We're fighting so the artist can get 1 penny per stream. Now, I ain't mad at her. I don't want this to sound like I'm criticizing. No, she's trying to do something. But it's just comical that you got to go fight to get upgraded to a penny when billions are circulating. They stealing. The rich are stealing money. So these are some of the examples. When people say, "Oh, the rich don't," no, they steal. That's how this whole world was built off theft. They steal money. They steal resources. They steal people. Shh. You don't think they steal people? Slavery is a real thing. They stole a whole people. They still stealing people because now you have what's called human trafficking. Human trafficking is a extremely lucrative industry. Human trafficking is an industry, multi-million-dollar industry. Who knows? It might be in the billions. I don't know. But people are in the business of snatching people up, throwing in a van, burning off, taking your little 12-year-old daughter, son, 8-year-old, 5-year-old, however old, 25-year-old, and trafficking them, forcing them into prostitution. No remorse or concern for the family that loves you. None of this stuff. Hey, man, we got to get this money. And getting rich, running, operate. Bro, look. They have what's called trafficking rings. You remember they talk about a drug ring? They got trafficking rings now. They got whole operations where this is an organized criminal freaking enterprise. Mr. Urban World says nerds really run the world. Some guy we don't know is living the life and haven't made a single song from these platforms. Yeah, man, that's absolutely right. I say this all the time. This is my signature phrase. Their talent is stealing from the talent. They are talentless outside of having the talent. They have the skill to steal. Conversation rule the nation. They got the gift of gab. They can talk a good game to make you feel like, okay, I can trust this guy. And just like the trafficking ring, just like the dope ring, they have a network. These record companies and the movie industry, it's a network. They pass you from one department to the next. Same in sports. So it's like, okay, you know what? I'm signing you. I'm your CEO of the label. I'm going to get you an accountant. Good friend of mine. I've been knowing him 35 years. He's a great accountant. He's worked with but that's his boy. He sends you to his boy to be your accountant or to be your agent, to be your manager or whatever it is, and they stealing from you. And you want to know how to really know when they stealing? All you have to do is try to hold them accountable for any type of business transparency. Hey, I need you to be transparent. I need to see this. I need to see the numbers. I need to see the books. I need to know this. Then it's like, why you want to see that? Or we don't normally release that information to, yeah, well, I know you don't. Or when you know they're stealing, is when you not only want to hold them accountable in terms of transparency, but when you reach a point where you kind of wake up and you start to talk about getting your own representation from within your choosing. I don't want him to be my agent no more. I don't need him to be my manager no more. I'm going to bring in my cousin who just graduated with a degree in whatever. He's an accountant. Now they start getting shaky and funny with you. Because if your cousin who loves you and looks out for you, if they are now looking after your money, they're going to recognize a discrepancy from the past. Like, wait a minute, so this what you was getting? Well, wait a minute, but you did this last year. This exposed. They stealing. And they want you to be just a dumb Negro all your life, as long until they can milk you till you can't be milked no more. TMG says, never allow another man to own you. Do a contract. The contract is what they use to own you. I can't agree with that with you, man. You said never allow a man to own you. Do a contract. The contract is what makes them own you. You're signing your life away. We've heard these terms. Oh man, that boy just signed his life away. That boy just sold his soul and didn't even get a jelly roll. This is how they get you. The first three letters of the word contract is con. And again, we come in uneducated. We don't know. We don't understand the wording. We don't understand the terminology in the paperwork. All we know is, oh man, I'm gonna sign with Universal. They gonna put me out. I'm gonna be known. I'm gonna go back to the hood. They're gonna give me a chain and a car. We don't know until it's time. But like, wait a minute, oh man, this contract ain't up yet. How they getting this and that? Now you know. Signed your life over. Bailey said there's a fundamental lack in the use of conscience, and this condition is a portentous catalyst for bad governance. Yeah, when you know better, you do better. When you don't know, you get jammed up sometimes. Sometimes you can know better and get jammed up. So my people perish for a lack of knowledge. Catherine Martin, what's going on, Catherine? What you just wrote, let me see. You know, I saw something online. This falls right into pocket with this conversation. I'm glad you popped in, Catherine. They'll never give up our goal. We have to take it back lawfully. I saw a picture. I don't know how authentic it was, but it was showing a bunch of gold in a room that was supposedly in the custody of the country of France. And the caption said, how does France have all this gold when there are no gold mines in France? Now, y'all go double check, go vet, and find out, are there any gold mines in France? I didn't do that at the moment. I just scratched my head and I moved on to what I was doing. But if there are indeed no gold mines in France, where'd the gold come from? Could they have gotten the gold through legitimate means? I guess so. But if not, that means somebody stole some gold. So the rich steal too. Now we're talking about nations. We're talking about whole countries that steal. We live in a country, this is probably the biggest thieving country of all time. You know, LeBron got the all-time scoring record. America probably has the all-time stealing record. America got the all-time stealing record because they're going to steal oil. They're going to steal people. They're going to steal money. So rich people do steal. They steal to maintain the bloodline, the life force. Their drug, which is money. L12 says, I passed my exam today. I listened to your song, Betting on Me, before I went in. Oh, man, you bet on yourself. There it is. Congratulations, man. Everybody give L12 a congratulations for passing that exam, man, and getting to the next level. Put a congrats, man, a 100. Show L12 some love, man. Yeah. Yeah, give some love. The original boss lady, I see you. Y'all shout out, give L12 some love, man. I don't even know what exam you passed. I don't even know what exam it was you passed, but whatever it is, bro, congratulations. Congratulations. Magneticus Attractor says they is a large club, the same club they beat you with. Again, it's a network. It's a network, and it consists of a lot of the same people, coincidentally. Same group of people, coincidentally. So people will say, well, man, nice guys finish last. And it might look like that sometimes, because I know a lot of y'all really try to do the right thing in life. A lot of y'all really try to get it the right way. I got homies who have went to prison for selling dope, and they went to prison for a while for selling dope. They got out, didn't do a long time. You might have did 2 or 3 years, 8 months, however long you did. You get out, and the mindset is, I don't want to resort back to that. But now, since you got caught up in that cycle in the system, and you got that stamp on your head, it's hard for you to get in the regular workforce now, because now you got a felony, or now you got that background, and people don't want to fool with you. So a lot of them try. They try their best when they're coming out. They try their best to fly straight, and society won't accept them back in. So the term recidivism rears its head, which means that most people who go to prison, recidivism represents that percentage of that they always end up going back majority of the time. But they don't want to do it. A lot of them didn't want to do it before they ever got caught. They just, circumstances, condition, necessity. Now, do we got a few little hard heads that just wanted to try to be fly and sell dope? Yeah. But a lot of people did it for survival. I don't condone that either, but I'm just saying that's the reason. See? But while we down here in the weeds, in the mud, looking at each other crazy behind crumbs, I don't trust you behind some crumbs. See, me and Phantom Face, we was talking about if they gave Phantom Face 100 million and gave me 99 million, I wouldn't be mad. But the reality is, it's people that if somebody walked up to two struggling people and just handed one up, hey man, here go $5, man. Both of y'all split that, y'all figure that out. It's some of us that wouldn't have sense enough to know that $5 would be $2.50 a piece. If the man hand you 5 ones, we messed up. Cause now we finna be arguing over who get the extra dollar. Cause we've been made that way. I'm still reading y'all's comments. Jay Keezy, Jordan King is in the building. My brother, my Alabama brother. Being petty. See, there's a term that I'll paraphrase because I rarely can remember the exact quote. But there's a term that says, if you cannot be faithful over a little, then you will never be made the ruler over much. Now, I didn't say that exactly right, but y'all understand what I mean. Meaning that if the little things turn you into a monster, you get greedy behind me and JD, we in the rap group. And then all of a sudden, we get a show and they drop, they want to give us $300. And I feel like I'm supposed to get $250 out the three. See, now I'm bumping heads with my brother over crumbs, man. Small amounts of money. You'll never be made a master over big money. I believe that God throws little trials at us to see, just to see where our head is at sometimes. Let me get this cat $1,500 and see how he act. What he gonna do? Man, I blessed this dude with $1,500. He ain't even dropped $20 in church. I gave that dude $1,500 in cash money. He rode right by that homeless man that didn't ask him. The homeless man didn't even ask for no money. He wasn't smoking. The homeless man said, man, can you give me something to eat when you come out the store? And you didn't do it. I can't put you over much because you're not faithful over little. You fail in the test. It's people that will ruin it all behind crumbs because they have just a Negro mentality and they've never had nothing and they don't understand the law of giving and it'll be given unto you. They don't understand that that's a law. That's a universal godly principle in a law. That's a law. I can't speak for y'all, but when I give, I get it back. And I always get back more than what I give. And I don't believe in coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. I don't look at it like, well, oh, man, that just happened to happen. It ain't just happened to happen a million times. It happens every time. So don't be stingy. Don't be selfish. Even with a little. Because you'll be like the rich. Hey, y'all hit the like button if you haven't already. I'm gonna see if we can get to 100 today. I might be asking for a lot. It might be a long shot. But don't be stingy and cheap with nothing. But don't even be that way with crumbs, man. Crumbs ain't gonna make or break you. And again, sacrifice is a big deal, y'all. And let me explain what I'm talking about. And this is even to the people who are generous to a degree, who do give, right? There are people who give in general, but they might not always sacrifice. So what do I mean by that? What you mean? Because if I got $200 and you ask me for $5, oh yeah, here you go. No problem, man. Matter of fact, take 10. I got 200. I'm feeling pretty comfortable right now. But what if I only got 5 and you ask me for 250? You ask me for half, and you need it. and I need it. Now it's like, ooh, man. So it makes me think about something that was said about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad when he visited the mosque. And just like at the church or any religious house, most religious houses, they pass the plate. They pass the collection plate to collect some money. And, we was little, we was in church. Sometimes we ain't had no money. My mama or my grandmother, they'll just reach their purse and put $1 in my hand for me to put in the plate just to represent that I gave. I ain't had no money. Grandma just, hey, put this $1 in there. Because what they were doing was they were instilling in me the principle of giving. She knew the money came from her, but she's making me go through the motion of giving. And it's transformative in your mind, because I can just remember, like, she gave me $1. When I put the $1 in there, I felt better about it. I felt like I participated too. Like, hey, I gave too. Even though that came from my grandmother. But what was said about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was that when he visited the mosque, he gave his last dime. He gave his last dime. Now, a dime in the 1930s still a small amount of money, even though a dime was worth more. You could do a lot with a dime in 1930. Believe this or not. Some of y'all that might be younger, but if you are 45, 50 years old, then you know your grandmothers, well, I can speak, my grandmother would tell me stories of how they would go to the store and buy a loaf of bread with a nickel. This ain't something I read. This is something that was told to me by my own grandma. A dime could get you some bread or some milk. This is a dime, 10 cents. One thin dime, like Dolomite said. Don't go listen to that. But the point is, even in 1930, he gave his last dime. So what's the significance of that? The significance of him giving his last dime meant that he made a sacrifice. That's the difference. If I got 75 cents in my pocket, I can toss that little dime in there and I'm cool. I got 65 cents. In 1930, I could probably make groceries with that. But he made a sacrifice, because once he dropped that dime, he didn't have no more money. So now you're depending on faith. Man, I so hope God replaced that dime. Lord, I'm trusting you. But that was it. So it goes further in the sight of the Creator that you sacrificed your last, compared if I had $1,000 and I dropped 200. Now, it's very commendable, yeah, that you dropped $200. Yeah, well, that's $200. It's going to go further than the dime if the church or the religious organization is doing right with the money. That's another story. We know that a lot of these places, they hustling. They ain't doing right with the money that the people give. But I'm dismissing that for a second to say, if the place is really doing right, right? The 200 the guy gives will go more, will go further on this plane, but it don't go further in the eyes of God than the man who gave his last. Marvin Stroud, my brother. I appreciate the love, Marvin. Thank you for the donation, man. Appreciate the salute to you as always, Marvin. My brother is very inspirational. I be seeing you. I be seeing them plates you be posting, bro. You be posting them plates online, that food. I be like, ooh wee. I don't know if he buying this from a restaurant or he cooking it himself. But you on a journey, brother, trying to eat better, try to live better, work out and all that, man. I salute you, bro. Trust me, I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you. Nikki Giovanni, aka Lady Trill, which is a good quality to have, but know when to give. That is a such thing as knowing when to give and when not to give. I will say that. I had to think on that for a minute. And the reason why I had to think on it for a minute, because it's reality. And I'll give you an example. If I'm coming out the store, my bad, if I'm coming out of the store, I'm from the South, y'all, so this is how we talk. If I'm coming out the store and I see a guy, he asks me for some money, hey man, you got $1, man? And I just, boop, here you go, man, $1. And I'm just chalking it up in my mind, man, this man is hungry, homeless, possibly. He wants something to eat. Boom, here's $1. And I don't question it, I just give it to him. But then I see the guy, day or two later, he behind the stove, he's smoking some crack. The next time he asks me for $1, I'm probably not gonna give it to him. Because in my mind, and y'all gonna say, oh man, you passing judgment. In my mind, it ain't about no passing judgment, it's about, I know hood activity, I know hood mentalities. I've been around hood stuff all my life. From living in the hood. I never left the hood. So I know the symptoms of hoodism. Shout out to my brother Hoodism, my brother GT. I don't mean that kind of hoodism. I know let me change it. I know the symptoms of hooditis, of ghettoitis. I can recognize the symptoms. So I know what you're gonna do with this $1. And I'm not gonna contribute to that. So now it looks mean or looks wrong in the eyes of certain people who don't see it like that. Oh man, I'm gonna go get that man $1 anyway. He might be on drugs, but see, I'm gonna still get a blessing, bro. You're missing the logic. You're contributing. See, the dude might have had $9. This was always my thought, my explanation to why I don't give to people that I know do dope. The dude might have had $9, and that $1 I gave him put him at 10, just enough for him to go buy buy some crack. And then soon as he buy that one he smoked, that'd be the one that kill him. My $1 put him over the top to hit that pipe, that one that's how I think. So no, if I know you're not gonna do right with the money, I can't do it. Look, bro, a lot of people have shot themselves in the foot with me. Behind that, I'm talking about people who ask for money. All in the name of trying to be honest. See, because it was this thing years ago where this guy, he went viral, or this sign went viral because he was standing on the corner saying, with a sign that said, I ain't gonna lie, I just want a bill. And everybody thought that was just the coolest thing in the world. Oh man, well, that was funny, man. He keeping it real. I went on, I bought that boy a 6-pack, man. I appreciate you being honest. No, you killing him. No. So I've had people to tell me, hey man, just get a pack of cigarettes, man. I'm trying to get me some cigarettes, man. Oh well, I ain't gonna say you should have lied, but if you would have lied, you would have got me, because I'm not gonna help you buy no cigarettes. Nah. Not gonna help you buy no cigarettes. Not gonna help you buy no beer. Not gonna help you buy no dope. Sorry, not sorry. So yeah, it is a time to not give, in my opinion. But that represents monetary giving. Because what you can give would be something that they really don't want. And that's a word. I've tried it. It's not very popular. That is, you just quote, if I give this bum $1, would he eat it or smoke it? That was the conflict. But it's not popular when you say, well, hey man, hey bro, let me talk to you for a minute. They don't want to hear that. But that's a form of giving. So it might not be money. Hey man, y'all hit the like button, man. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes. We don't need but 21. If we have that, if those numbers line up in here. Christos, not giving that dollar can save him from overdose. Yeah, it's possible. That's how I think. That's how my mind works. You know, I get in my own head sometimes. I ain't no different from y'all. Laverne said, at least he honest. Yeah, I said. Yeah. But as far as the rich goes, man, we can aspire to get our bread up. I believe that you should never stop trying to get money. Don't let people say, well, man, you don't need that much money. That's a form of greed. No, I may not need that much money, but my people need it. So would I want $100 billion? Yeah, because I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm not gonna lose my mind and just go straight freaking kamikaze if I follow that kind of money. I'm gonna link myself up with wise individuals who can direct me and guide me into ways to utilize $100 million to better us as a people. What type of institutions do we need to create and build? And so, of course, it's not just for me. Anybody who thinks that every single blessing, every dollar, every resource that's bestowed upon them is just strictly for them, then you're missing the whole point. We should always be thinking about what we can do and what can we give of our time, our resources, and our service to help other people. Tell y'all this all the time, man. You got a closet full of clothes that you ain't worn forever. Man, take a day and go get them clothes away to people, man. Don't throw them clothes away. You got all these tennis shoes that you don't wear no more, or you 3 or 4 of them that you know you don't wear. Take them tennis shoes, go downtown, or go where the homeless people at. Get them shoes away, man. Shoes in good condition. Ain't nothing wrong with them shoes. Go buy a case of water. Go buy a couple of cases of water. It ain't cost $10. And just go post up one day in that area and just, hey, man, bottle of water, just something, man. Because guess who's not doing it? A lot of these rich folks ain't doing it. because the money goes to their toys. And what are their toys? The toys are football stadiums, basketball arenas, other little endeavors that they venture into that feel are more important than focusing that money or directing that money towards the actual needs of actual people who actually need it. So now the poor folks got boots on the ground trying to help other poor folks. But that's cool. We take on that responsibility. Original boss lady, we disagree on this part. You say if you give it from the heart, it doesn't really matter what they do with it. You're only held accountable for what you do. And I've had those conversations with people before, but I base that on what you know about the person. If I have a cousin that I know is on dope, and that cousin is asking me for some money that I know he or she is going to buy some dope with, I can't give them that money because I'm contributing to that person's habit and that person's sickness that could possibly kill them at some point, right? So it matters what they do with it, period. But if I know what they're going to do with it, I'm contributing to that. Now, I get the premise of where you're coming from in terms of like, you know, God blesses your intentions, which he does. He does bless them. But sometimes even our good intentions can be kind of off track, can be misguided. We can mean, so you can mean well and not do something right and not do right. If you understand what I'm saying. We can mean well and still not do something right, not do the right thing or the right way. See, you can do, I'll put it to you like this. You can do wrong, you can do right the wrong way. That's what it boils down to. All right, man. Y'all drop y'all locations. Let me shout y'all out. Let me shout y'all out. Drop y'all locations, man. But the rich ain't righteous. Not all the time. I can't say it's no good. I can't say that there's no good rich people. I can't say that. But it's also a scripture that says it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter into the gates of heaven. Why was that said like that? What does it really mean? Because we know that a camel can't pass through the eye of a needle. A camel can't come fit in your house. So he definitely can't pass through the eye of a needle. So what does that really mean? That it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter into heaven. It's an analogy to talk about how messed up the character of a lot of rich people are. Their character is so jacked up that it would be easier for the camel to go through the eye of a needle because their hearts are not in the right place with their riches. I'm shouting y'all out, man. It's time for your big brother to get some food. Is that Aerna Nama in Dallas. Hope I said your name right. LaMarcus Harris is in Illinois. What's up, nephew? I see you. Stray Dog is in Wisconsin. Money Up Records, St. Louis County, Missouri. Louis Lou is in Memphis. Hey, check it out, man. I'm coming to San Antonio. Me and Point Blank will be in San Antonio, Texas. Klondike Cat coming too. We'll be in San Antonio, Texas. Murder One coming too. We'll be in San Antonio, Texas, June the 29th. June the 29th, San Antonio, Texas. June the 23rd, we'll be in Victoria, Texas. We got Austin coming up. Austin. I'll remember. I'll get back to y'all. But June 23rd, Victoria, Texas. June 29th, San Antonio, Texas. Anything circulating around it, and when I remember it, I'll come back later on. But if y'all are in the area, shout out to all my people in San Antonio. As always, man, when you coming back. And guess what's gonna happen when I go back to San Antonio? I can get me some more of these. Y'all. Cause this is where I get them from. I get these from San Antonio, man. I can't find them like this nowhere else. So I'm gonna load up because this I'm down to my last pair. Y'all remember that song I had called Last Pair of Draws? I'm down to my last pair of Lokes. So I'm looking forward to going back to San Antonio. When I come back, I'm gonna be locked and loaded. I ain't gonna run out for a long time. All right, well, let me see. Let me get back to these shout outs. My bad. Laverne Lowe is in Brooklyn. Matt Greer. What's up, Matt? Stephenville, Texas. I just saw something about Stephenville, Texas last night. I was watching this UFO documentary. Was you out there when the UFOs came through in Stephenville? Chris B is in Colorado. Derek Kellum is in Baytown. Lady Trill is in Wharton. Wow, this thing jumped as soon as I said that. Erica Vianney, Lumberton, Texas. Hold on, I got to read what Magnetica just said. Years ago, my boss was selling roses in glass tubes for 99 cents each. I asked the boss why they were selling crack pipes. The price went from 99 each to $4.99 plus tax. The crack pipes was $4.99, or the roses went to $4.99. I'm trying to get the correlation. KSUE is in Temple, Texas. That's right, Catherine. Human trafficking. Yeah, that's all I'm saying, boss lady. You know, I mean, when we know something is gonna hurt somebody, it wouldn't be wise for us to just give them some money to actually go and be able to do it. Hold on, man. I need 9 likes. I wasn't paying attention, man. If y'all haven't hit the like button, hit it now. We need 9 likes to get to 100, y'all. Can we do it? Appreciate you, Brian Correa. Discernment is the key. That's right, Catherine. Robert Smith, I appreciate the love. TMG, I appreciate the love as well. Go TSU. Big Rick, all over Houston. I am hosting the Screw event in July. I'm one of the hosts at the DJ Screw event. That's going to be a big deal. Shout out to my homie Big Bub at the Screw Shop, man, for asking me to be one of the hosts. That's in July, y'all. We'll have that announcement and information coming soon. But yeah, I am one of the hosts at the DJ Screw event, man. That's big, bro. Y'all gonna see your big brother. Stacey R is in the building. Phantom Face in that 614 Columbus, Ohio. Shout out to my homies, man, because Phantom Face came through last night along with Jimmy Robinson, that came through and hung out with us on the interview I did with my homies YJ and Boss, man. Great interview. I had a great time chopping it up with those brothers, man. Y'all be sure to support YJ was just in here. If you're still in here, what's the name of the platform? If not, I'll find it. Let me see. You know is in Liverpool. Three pairs of lokes for $15. Are they like this, straight dog? Hold on, man. Let's examine these lokes, man. They got to be just like this. They can't have that old wide thing. Y'all heard me talk about this before. And they got to go straight across. It can't be no dip. They can't have that little curve, that little rounded. I don't like when they wrap. I don't like that little wrap around your face. You know how them glasses, if someone they wrap around. I like mine to be square. You see how these are squared? It's like zoop, zoop, squared. So are they exactly like this? Because I'll buy them in bulk and I'll start selling them. Catherine McMartin is in Missouri. The cost of what jumped though, Magneticus? What, the crack pipes or the roses? Raw Naked Truth is in 3rd Ward. Hey man, 3rd Ward, represent. That's what's up. Raw Naked Trick, 3rd Ward, Jack Yates the yard. You could have left that part out of that, man. You ain't have to mention the Yates part. I get enough of that from my daddy, man. We couldn't beat Yates in nothing, bro. I believe if Yates had a marble team, they would back in my days. I don't know about now, but back in my days, you ain't beating Yates. You ain't beating them in football. Do I believe that all the powers in America will fall apart? Absolutely. It's already happening. Look at this book. I showed this book last time. You see this book? What did this book say? The fall of who? Oh yeah, it's already happening. It's already happening, nephew. I'm still giving shout outs. I need 2 more likes and I can get out the way. Yeah, man, they got to be right. Join Rainbow 59 South. The school event is going to be at the George R. Brown, Big Rick. The Temple Wildcats beat Yates in the 90s. I ain't talking about the 90s. I'm about the 80s. When I was in school. Michelle Jones is in the UK. Wales, to be exact. Okay. Shout out to everybody over there in the UK. Appreciate whoever just gave me that 100 like. Appreciate that. The Real Henny Black is in Corpus Christi. We'll be headed out that way. We're going to get back out to Corpus Henny Black. All right, y'all. Those of y'all who came in late, please go back and watch the meat of the stream. We covered a lot on this topic, y'all. Please go back and watch what you didn't catch. And I will catch y'all later on, man. It's dinner time. Peace and love.